right now, this particular webinar that I'm referring to, the two webinars that I did that were the same, are called Coach Your Best Season Yet, right? I have a recording of those, and if you want that recording, I need your email address. So individuals can get in touch with me with their email address, and I will send that to you, okay? But I'm offering to do it for clubs for free, that same webinar. So that's what that one is, okay? That said, I also want you to listen carefully here because I'm doing another two, okay? I was originally going to charge a small fee for these. What I will do is I'll do them free, and I'll put a link into those who attend to contribute to buy me a beer or something like that. Okay. The topics I'll be covering on this are coaching too much structure will well and truly fuck you. So I try not to swear on this podcast, but you can fill in the blanks there. Coaching too much structure will well and truly fuck you. And what I'm going to be doing is talking to you about how you can coach your players, why, and how you can coach your players to play what they see. Another topic I'll be covering across the two is defend like a demon. And it would obviously be a skills update as well. So those events, I have to cover them in two events. I can't do that in 1 hour. Okay, so any individuals or clubs can join. They're going to be on Wednesday the 25th of March and Monday the 30th of March. And again, I will organise 2 time zones. Okay, so there'll be one on the Wednesday evening and the Monday evening in Australia. Okay. And there'll be duplicates that are good for the English audience in the Northern Hemisphere. If you want to join those 2 webinars, so coaching too much structure will well and truly F you, defend like a demon, skills update. So that'll be 2 hours worth spread over 2 sessions. Please get your email address to me and ask politely. Do not be a clown and just go, send me your email address. Don't be rude. Okay. So you can email me admin@rugbyleaguecoach.com.au or message me through Facebook and Instagram at Rugby League Coach. Okay. If you are interested in being mentored by me as a coach weekly, the yearly price has been reduced because we're now on the eve of the season. So a lot of coaches have worked with me since October. Also, the Coach Accelerator program is the best value deal I've ever given coaches. It's basically half price for what you'll get. What you get with that is 4 mentoring sessions with me and full access to my online resources, which alone are worth over $1,000, and you're not paying that for this. And typical mentoring activities I do with coaches include coaching diagnostics, detailed planning specific to your team, analyze you as a coach and review you. Some coaches are local to me, so I can go and see them. We'll analyze tapes. One coach in England, I'm looking at his tapes a lot with him, and so much more. One thing you will do is you will be reflecting on your coaching all the time. And enrolling on this program will give you an awful lot of that access, okay? So basically, the total package is worth $1,500 at normal prices. It's nearly 1/3 of that. Okay, so in the accelerator program. So please get in touch. Each week I'm outlining training sessions for coaches that are free. That video is also shared on YouTube as an individual part of this podcast. So hello, YouTube. It's hard now for me to take this plan and just do it, because last week I asked you to try and go 13 versus 13 by either grabbing another team and going against them and combining. If you don't know what I'm talking about, listen back to that. Or using the players that you got if you've got 26 or over. Now, this week is about you zooming in on those things that you need to improve. So only you know what you need to improve. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to go through some of the things that you might have needed to look for, but I'm not going to spoon feed you sessions this week. I want to make you think, because from next week, we're going to start tapering training and getting players sharper for the year ahead. So I'm going to start putting in some agility and speed work, and I'm going to start giving you ways of sharpening your players up so that they're full of energy ahead of games. It's very hard, as you can imagine, with the amount of people that listen to this podcast, because it's an audio podcast, but there's a few people also watching the clips on YouTube. It's very hard for me to know where you're at without you telling me where you are at. So please get in touch and I can tailor this for you. But next week's going to be very different. We're going to do more speed, agility, and quickness and things like that. And it will also assume that you've covered all the skills that we have in the previous weeks. So a little bit of advice, I think, when you're looking at where you were wrong last week and things you need to fix, just remember there's probably a hierarchy of needs at times. And depending on the team that you're coaching, you might never, ever, ever get their grip, pass, catch, carry right. Okay? Tackling tends to be an issue too. And you can fix that really easily. Look, I mentored a coach very recently and I said, tell the team, shoulder contact under the ball, that begins with an S. I said, squeeze them on the floor for a couple of seconds, squeeze begins with an S. Get your ABCs tight begins with a T, and keep a line. SSTL. I do think there's an advert going around Australia at the minute that goes STL or something like that. So SSTL. Shoulder contact, squeeze them on the ground, tight defensive line, and tight ABC and keep a defensive line. SSTL. So don't get involved. Don't get too obsessed if your grip, pass, catch, carries off a little bit. That's something you have to keep working on all the time. Don't do a full session on grip, pass, catch, carry. But you need to give your team some structure to go north in their own half and play some football in the other half. And to play some football in the other half, you need to give them some room to play some football. But you know your team. I don't know your team. So I need you to talk to me. Okay? And if you're watching this video or listening to this part of the podcast, I am imploring you to now make contact. If you've been listening to this podcast and following these training plans, if you've been watching the YouTubes, this is the time to get in touch now. Get in touch. And I will help you. And I'll do it nice and, over the phone and not charge any money in the first instance, as long as you don't take the P1SS. Bear in mind, I am somebody who works for a living, so I need some people to pay. So, and of course, if you want to mentor, you want a mentor as a coach, I will look after you. But this is the time for you to communicate with me now, okay? Because next week I'm just going to move on, as if you've fixed everything. So based on what I told you last week, you knew what needed fixing. And this week, you fix it. Because next week, we're going to taper training. You can get me, admin@rugbyleaguecoach.com.au, at Rugby League Coach on Facebook and Instagram. Make sure you message me on there if you're thinking socials. But I have Rugby League Coach for all socials. I'm not on Snapchat yet, but at RL Coach on the net on X. I think one of the lucky things that happened to me as a coach is I started coaching in England, because that's where I was born and raised. And in the very last year I coached in England, I coached in Yorkshire, which is a lot colder than Lancashire. And when I used to bring the players in, say, right, lads, come in, they ran in because they were cold. I also learned to keep my feedback pretty short because I didn't want them standing around too long, and then sent them back out again to get warm again. When I came to Sydney, I said, right, lads, come in. The players were strolling in. So I started to hurry them up. Why were they strolling in? Because it was so warm. And what happened is I developed a coaching style that was a shock to some local Australians, and always is still a shock to some Australians sometimes, because Australians tend to be a bit more cruisy, don't they? And because I learned in England and got my feedback nice and short and then sent them back out again, I still do that now. And it helps give me speed, intensity, and structure to my sessions. So if you've been consuming these training plans over the last few weeks, that's what you need in your training: speed to it, intensity, and structure to it. I'll let you go now, YouTube. Thank you so much. Don't forget to get in touch and let me know where you're at.